So the Snezhnaya crap, I don't think I said that right, live stream had wrapped up yesterday and I took notes. Man, I haven't done this since college. These are just things that are interesting enough to pop out to me in the live stream. Snezhnaya's release will be on August 12th, about 3 months from now, which doesn't seem like enough time to fit 3 more updates. Heck, we're not even in phase 2 of our current update, so the Luna version might be cut short. They talked about Snezhnaya's general portrayal as being sinister and threatening. However, they talked about their general motive to defy the heavenly principles. I know that this is like not news at all, but what I believe they're trying to imply is that Snezhnaya and on extension the Fatui are actually working for somewhat of a greater good. However, defying the heavenly principles seems to be a pretty vague motive that can quite literally mean anything, good or bad, so I guess we'll just wait and see. Snezhnaya is home to an ancient race known as the Fae. Their origins are traced back to the kingdom of Hyperborea and is tied to the heavenly principles, angels, and the Descenders? Okay. I believe they brought this up because we might be getting more Fae playable characters, and they're probably actually going to be focused on in the story. They talked about the Harbinger's job to obtain the Gnosis, and how all the Archons have surrendered theirs to the Tsaritsa. Well, except for A and Malvika. They all seem to have their own motivations for doing this, but seemingly the same agenda, as it's a smaller price to pay, whether they believe in the Tsaritsa's motives or don't want to bring carnage to their own door. Snezhnaya's inspirations are quite interesting. Their main cultural inspiration is Eastern Europe, with their other inspirations being Snowpiercer, Metro, and a mention of Resident Evil, which the Snowpiercer inspiration is pretty obvious. Metro might be an inspiration for the general terrain, and the Resident Evil mention was in reference to the police station being converted into a museum, and how they wanted to use that same design philosophy for Snezhnaya. Whether there's more elements to these inspirations is yet to be determined. They talked about improving their visuals, and how the game has evolved over time. Honestly, this part is pretty vague, so if it is improving visuals of current characters or past characters is yet to be known. However, they did talk about performance issues and mention the Traveler is going to get new gameplay and a new skin. They talked about specifically emphasizing their Descender status. Of course, their promise of quote-unquote new gameplay is, of course, incredibly vague. The very last thing I'll talk about is a promise they made, that they will not rush or force the ending or drag out Genshin for commercial purposes. I know this is incredibly PR, but I want us all to remember this going forward. So with everything I've told you about Snezhnaya so far, what do you think about it? Are you hyped or are you concerned? Let me know in the comments.